the government of South Africa has sold the people out. The government of South Africa works with high-profile white minority capitalists. And these white minority capitalists try to tell all the different races, the Indians, the coloreds, and the blacks of how to do things, but they are the most corrupt under the sun, with the assistance of Cyril Ramaphosa. And Cyril Ramaphosa, the ANC government, does not have the black people's interests at heart. I want to say to the black communities and to everyone in South Africa, the government has failed you guys.
These people fled from their countries because of the political climate, whatever it is. We don't necessarily know what makes anyone pack their bags and come to South Africa, but it is always for a political reason, although of course we have lots of criminals who also take advantage of that fact. It becomes a problem to actually make pronouncements and say that it is all okay. It's not. We seem to need to go back to the drawing board on a lot of issues, especially such as the porous borders we have in South Africa. How do we control this type of flooding the country with foreigners?
Our joint statement. What I would like to add, and not subtracting from what the National Commissioner said, is that we've seen too much lives lost. And one life is one more than enough, and we are not going to tolerate any further escalation of any criminal activity that will take our people's lives. We will give those criminal elements no quarters, and we will go out there and ensure that our people are protected. We will work jointly with our counterparts in the police service, and that is what we promised the people of South Africa to say. We are not going to allow those who do not have the right to carry arms to terrorize our people. We are going to ensure that the state apparatus takes full responsibility and ownership and say we are the only ones who are empowered to have the monopoly of force. And we'll carry those arms, and if you challenge us, we will show those criminal elements that this is the state, and ensuring that we are going to enforce by any means the law of order. Thank you.
The story is about Mr. Adams gone to police station to open a case against me. We'll deal with that at the ad hoc committee. If there's any case open at the police station, anyone has got the right to open a case. Police must investigate, and if there's a crime committed and the police feels that they must take that into the courts, and the courts, if they decide to prosecute, or prosecute. I was never afraid to be prosecuted. I'm not going to be afraid to be prosecuted now. So if Mr. Adams, who I spoke about in that commission, feels that he must then use the strategy to threaten or intimidate, it's okay. I'm not afraid of that. We already understand which side of the law he is. We'll find each other at the right place. Let it happen. He must bring it on. I will never be afraid of it. I'm still going to go back, I'm told, back to the commission, to the audit committee, so we'll appear there and go and explain. And as I've said before, what I presented before the citizen in July, I beg your pardon, was not my making alone. It was the South African Police Service members, hardworking men and women, who are frustrated. And I'm sure as we are watching what's happening in the commission, we get to hear more and more police officers talking about the frustrations. So I said in my presentation, I've said in my statement, what I'm talking about is information I have. Some of it I read on documents that I'm entitled to read, and some of it is information I received from the colleagues that briefed me on it. So as I presented, representing the men and women in blue, where there was any omission or error made, that was not intentional and it's going to be explained. We submit some statements, and I think maybe he might have missed the fact that what was spoken about in Parliament against what was in my statement are two different things. So maybe he needs to get my statement and read it and see where I wrote whatever that he went to open a case on, or else he's opening a case against what I said. What I said is coming from the team, and it's going to be explained when we go back to the Parliament. We'll leave it like that.
Our Gauteng detectives then took two people into questioning. The first, Viandre Pretorius, who we believe was the main suspect in the murder of Marius van der Merwe. Fast forward to February, he then commits suicide at a filling station. And you will recall that I had indicated at that time that he was our primary suspect, Viandre Pretorius, in the murder of witness D. Upon further investigation, I think the team worked quite hard piecing evidence together, gathering all information. They then find that there were about two people in that car. You'll recall that it was a drive-by shooting on the night that witness D was killed. And according to our investigation, the gunman who shot witness D shot him from the car. And that could only be possible if you've got a highly trained gunman to do so. He shot two shots, and witness D was killed by one shot. So it tells you that given the background of Sotheni, they knew that Sotheni would do a clean job. He would execute and eliminate witness D on the spot because of his training, because of the training that our special task force members receive. So they knew that he was the best person for the job. So we then continued with investigations, and according to our investigation, Viandre Pretorius on that evening was the driver of the Suzuki Swift that was used in the drive-by shooting. And Sotheni was then in the passenger seat, and he pulled the trigger. Two shots, one shot that killed Marius van der Merwe. So our overwhelming evidence then places them both on the scene. And it also tells us that this particular Suzuki Swift was the one that was driven by Sotheni while he was tailing witness D for quite some time, starting off from the end of November up until that hit was executed on the 5th of December. So the SAPS has been quite hard at work. The detectives have been on the ground, and we unfortunately did find out that the Suzuki Swift belongs actually to the girlfriend of Sotheni. Being arrested on a very serious charge in relation to the murder of witness D, Marius van der Merwe. Let me start off with the background of the accused that appeared this morning. Matipandile Sotheni is a former member of the SAPS. He joined the ranks in 2005, and in 2010 he joined the Special Task Force. You will know that the Special Task Force is the SAPS's elite team, highly trained, highly specialized members. It costs a lot to train Special Task Force members, and that is why it's so unfortunate that a highly trained, specialized former member can appear in court on such a serious charge. So he resigned from the SAPS in 2019, and from our investigation he then went into the private sector, and it is quite unfortunate that our tactical operators are being targeted by your private companies, by individuals that are wealthy to protect them and guard them. But now we see today they end up doing such being involved in such heinous crimes. So it's quite unfortunate. Yeah. It's at the same time good.